Okay.
This is a new one.
This is a new one. I'm glad you started that, Joe. Thank you for catching Caleb saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said,
Woo.
But that's okay.
Hey.
Episode 8, here we are, guys. I'm excited about it. Y'all are excited about it. We have the same trio, Caleb, Joe, and Zach, but we also have a special guest person on the couch today.
Laurel.
Laurel! So, Laurel, how are you doing?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Go to school today?
Yeah.
Nice. School sucks.
Yeah.
It's important, though.
Mm-hmm.
Eh.
Oh, I took a test
Caleb,
today.
when was the last time you were in school? 3 years ago?
2016. 2 years, yeah. It's been a while.
But anyway, I'm getting a phone call.
Okay,
Apparently.
so
We didn't silence our phones. My bad.
So
Sir,
anyway, brand new topics to talk about today.
Yep.
Brand new person to help us talk about those topics today.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the tax cuts that just got introduced into Congress. I'm pretty sure the outlook is it will pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like this will go through because of the Republican majority and all the other parts of the government right now.
Wait,
You right?
how long is it supposed to take?
The
Like, until
tax
it
to go
passes?
through.
Uh-huh.
If it passes, I think it's going to take a year to actually take it.
Yeah,
take
nothing happens
effect.
fast in the government.
No.
So how does that affect us, like, as poor college kids?
Well, as
And
poor
maybe-
college kids, me is the only one that you have to talk about. But I will not benefit from this that much because I am still technically a dependent. But the people that will benefit from this is Zach.
Oh.
Zach is going to benefit a lot from this tax cut. Now, when I say a lot, I don't mean like he's going to have more income in total, because obviously when taxes go down, your tax return goes down.
Right.
But you're going to have more money available faster than you did before.
Okay, wait. So, like, so you're saying, like, so for talking purposes, I made $30,000 last year, and I had to do like $6,000 with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and all whatever else goes into like the taxes they pull out of my paycheck. So, are you saying they're going to be taking less out of my paycheck?
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, I am going to be making more money.
Kind of,
Yeah.
I just don't get as much money back
money
from the
on my
government.
tax return.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I could care less.
Yeah.
Give me more money now.
Mm-hmm.
Pal sudden service. Everything needs to happen right now.
This also goes into effect the minute that you are going to have a kid, which means that, and that is getting increased as well, the tax break you get from having a kid.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. That's going up. It's not as simple as that. I could really go into details on what it is, but it's not as simple as just, oh, you get more money if you have a kid. But it's,
yeah. I mean, of course, but it's but it hasn't gone through yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And it is believed to go. It is going to go through though. And
So when it goes through, will it be effective for the 2018, or will it, like, if it's approved 2018, it won't go into effect until 2019?
I'm pretty sure it won't go into effect until the following tax year.
Why do you say
Okay,
that
so like I wouldn't be able to like have any benefit until I filed my 2019 taxes.
I think so. Yeah.
That's
But no. You're going, every paycheck that you're getting in
that's fair.
2018
That's fair.
will be less
Right.
as far as your tax
taxes
returns
that
go.
you do
You're not
in
going to.
2019
Yeah.
That's
for your
fair.
2018 fiscal year.
Anyway, complicated things.
Right.
The big thing that comes with this is obviously because taxes are lowered. That means that people are going to be spending more money because they have more money. And so thus they say that drives the economy. But with this tax break on just individuals, you also have a tax break on small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to make it so that the middle class is getting a little bit more wiggle room, going
just
from
like-
25% to 20%. So I guess, in my opinion, when I hear that, I think, oh, great, businesses are going to have more money, but it's also a bad thing because the government right now is just not doing well in general. We are in mountains and mountains of debt, and we are deciding, you know what's a great idea right now? Whenever we have all this tension between North Korea and ourselves, and the whole world is basically on a knife's edge because of our president, we're going to say, let's lower our taxes and let's give less money to our government.
Well,
Now, see, that's hard for me to see. I don't see it. I don't know why. We cannot afford a tax cut in my mind. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. Thoughts?
I don't think that the national debt is a number that's so like astronomical that I don't think any one president with 2 terms, 8 years is going to be able to make a substantial dent in it. I don't back anyone saying like, oh, well, we can have it paid off in 50 years if we do 50% tax for every bracket. It's like, okay, well, we're also going to move to Canada the second you start that. Like, I think, okay, so every country just about is in debt to somebody somewhere. Like, no one, I mean, you've got the rare few, but none of the superpowers are like, hey, everybody owes me, because we'd just be throwing nukes at each other if that were the case. But I just think, especially where me and Zach have been looking at all this stock market stuff and everything else, it's all just numbers. And I think they realize it as Donald Trump, I guess, wants us to be in a better economy than actually making a dent on that number debt-wise, just because, like I said, he's never gonna see that debt paid off, not in his lifetime.
No, yeah.
Probably not in mine or yours or Zach's.
You're right.
It's just not gonna happen.
And I'm not for the debt being paid off. I'm for the debt going down.
Right.
So
not being paid off.
What do you think the national debt for the United States is?
Right now?
Right now.
It's over 20 trillion. Did it hit 21 trillion yet?
No.
No? Okay, so it's like 20.5?
Oh, so close. I'm not going to read it, but it's 20.493.
Okay. Yeah, that's close enough. Come on.
Yeah, no, like I
close.
said, like 20 and a half is like pretty solid.
Yeah.
That is a lot more than I thought, because I don't know why I was thinking like 3 trillion, but I was wrong.
There's a video or a movie back in the day. It was called 2012. It was about Obama's re-election. It was very biased and it was very bad. But one thing they did predict in there that everyone was like, no, this isn't actually going to happen, is that by the end of Obama's presidency, the debt will be at 20 trillion. And it was at 19.8.
They were wrong.
It was like, oh, you guys suck.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I guess. To your point, or to address your point on it just being a number, it just causes, like, in the short term, that's okay to say. In the long term, it's not. If you just keep letting it go up, eventually the whole world's going to be mad at the United States, and eventually someone's going to break, in my opinion.
Right.
But I understand the point of times are good right now because taxes are going to be lower. So, hooray, we're going to have more disposable income and fun things. But it's also very worrying because I don't think we can afford a tax cut when we're in such a bad spot right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how are you going to make money? Like,
how does the government make money?
Like, I mean, that's not. I know how the government makes money, but if you are the government, quote unquote, how are you going to make more money than just like? Because if you raise taxes, you're just going to tick a bunch of people off. You know, you're not like.
Yeah.
Approval ratings, yay or nay, that's irrelevant. I mean, if you keep taxing your citizens, like, eventually you crumble from the inside. Which, the same thing can be said in the inverse direction of, if you don't tax your citizens and you just keep going into debt, you know, you can have the same exact effect. But it seems like to me that, you know, you can't run a government like a business. Like, that's not how governments are designed to be ran. They're designed to be ran like governments. And especially ours is so unique where, you know, back in the day, you know, for the people, by the people, you know. It seems to me that, like, our big issue is the fact that, like, what is our number one export?
I don't know. What is it?
Hollywood.
true.
Entertainment is true. Like,
the service industry is basically what
entertainment,
but
not
how
just
much
service.
of that money, like, that doesn't go back to the government, though.
That's the point. Nobody, like, you go to any other big country, they have their own entertainment studios. They have their own video game companies. They have their own movie companies. They have their own everything, you know. But yet we buy most of our goods from other countries. And those countries who are selling us their goods are also just making money from selling their goods in their own country.
Yeah.
So it seems like to me that, and of course I'm biased because my parents own a small business, and, you know, tax cuts for them is a good thing for the whole family as far as I'm concerned. But it seems like to me that the tax cuts for the middle class, you know, is a good thing, because if there is more money there, I'm not thinking, I mean, of course there's going to be the people who think like, oh, dude, I'm getting an extra $68 every month or whatever the case is. You know, I'm going to be able to go buy whatever thing I want. But I also like to think there are the entrepreneurs that are still out there that are going to go and create something new, like make a new business and get to where they're really, really good at it, and then, you know, start exporting that. And that's not something that's going to happen in the next 5 or even 10 years. That's something that can happen in the next 25 to 50 years. But if the United States can get back to exporting goods and not just services or entertainment or things like that, that's when you're going to see reduction in the debt.
Yeah.
Because you're selling. You're not just buying or essentially having a wash within your own country.
Right. My big thing is we've got a lot of companies that will do good in the United States, but they will move their headquarters out of the United States so that way they don't have to pay the United States taxes. Like Burger King bought out Tim Hortons, and then they moved their headquarters out to Canada, and they're like, oh, hey, this is way cheaper tax for us. Like, okay, cool. You're still making just as much money off of the American citizens as you were, hamburgers, whatever else, but you're not paying nearly as much taxes. And it's a lot of companies like that. That's why I'm wanting to see, like, in the cell phone business, like Motorola used to be an American company. I'm not sure if they still are, but I'm wanting companies to come back in, and I think that's what Donald Trump was like. We're going to bring the businesses back, and everybody's like, how? And it's like, working on it.
To his credit, he is. People,
Right. Yeah.
Apple is investing more in the United States. Some other companies are investing more in the United States.
I think that's how we overall fix it.
It's been okay. I would say the thing that you could talk about this for hours and hours, and we still would never understand it. But there is something to be said about a bubble of some sort forming. If anyone who has ever lived through 2008 remembers what happened in 2008, that's when a bubble popped that should never have been created in the first place.
True.
So this is also going to inspire more big companies investing in here and creating another bubble that is going to pop yet again. Yeah. It is already happening in the car industry, and I'm sure you guys hear it all the time on the radio. If we can't get you financed at this bank, I'll finance you myself. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can't.
But that's not how that works.
That is not how that works. Subprime loans going out yet again, blah, 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 and send... You know the whole shit. I have to say, I left something out. The tax brackets are going to be adjusted as well.
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing for you guys, but it's also a bad thing for you guys. You already know about the big purchase that happened with Disney and 20th Century Fox. The tax brackets for the upper 1% are going to be going down, thus incentivizing yet more buyouts. And also that companies that are high, the Apples, the Amazons, they're going to be buying out all these smaller companies. Good for the smaller companies. They're getting $1 million for their company, but at the same time, those companies who buy them, Amazon and Apple, it's not like they have a buttload of cash laying around. They're actually going into enormous amounts of debt buying these companies. And they are, once again, filling a bubble in the business sector this time, not in...
real estate.
My brother Tom the other day checked the investment rate for corporate bonds versus treasury bills. Do you remember those two terms, Zach? And treasury bills being the safest form of investment.
Right.
Corporate bonds are one of the more riskier ones. Corporate bonds right now have the exact same return as a treasury bill right now.
Really?
That is how in debt companies are right now. That is never been heard of before.
Yeah.
Companies are just buying. That's not good.
Well, everything's based on the future. Like, everybody's believing, like, no, I'm going to buy this and it's going to profit me X amount of time down the road. It's not the whole, like, when we were growing up, it's like, don't buy it if you don't have the money for it. Don't go into debt for that.
That is such an outdated term.
It is.
Such an outdated term, yeah.
But, I mean... It's essentially the same thing like you're talking about on an extremely micro scale in comparison. But quick segue. Motorola, owned by Lenovo now. They got bought out.
Well, what do you know?
Based out of China.
And I guarantee Lenovo is owned by someone too.
That's where I'm saying, like, if you're going to sell in the United States, you're going to get taxed by the government. Like, I'm glad that we're doing tax cuts for the everyday Joe Blow like us, but I think for all these huge corporations that are like, oh, hey, you buy 10 million TVs a year? Yeah, we can totally ship those out. It's like, oh, cool. Uncle Sam's taking his cut, too.
I'm really nervous about it because with all these jobs coming back to the United States, what if that bubble pops and all those jobs disappear? Our jobs in the realm of... Crap, what am I thinking of? Where John works. was it factory jobs?
Yeah.
Have risen to enormous rates. People I think they made up over 68% of our growth in jobs.
Really? I didn't
these
know
past
that.
couple of years.
Right.
It's insane how many factory jobs are being done now. But it's really worrying because what happens if that bubble pops and it...
I mean, we've had a lot of companies leave, especially our area. Like, I'm huge on guns. Ruger was like getting ready to build a new manufacturing plant, and they're like, okay, it's either going to be Nashville or Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
And Charleston won out like astronomically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, there's not enough people in Nashville for us to put our plant here just because they were afraid they couldn't have any people working there, or not enough people working there. And like our little cities that we live in, we've had tons of companies leave. Like Benburg, like it used to be a legitimate factory, and there used to be like a whistle that blew every day at 3:00, and that's how people knew they had to go home. Like all this nonsense. We don't have that anymore. Now it's everybody works in their small business, and we all spend money in our small town, and then we go home. It's rough.
Very different from the rest of the world, though. Very different from the rest of the world.
Thoughts, comments, concerns.
Yeah, thoughts, comments, concerns. I think we covered it pretty well, but we all have concerns. At the end of the day, I think we're all happy to have more money in our pockets, though, right?
Well, yeah, but do you think that because the small businesses are like booming, not because I don't think they're financially booming, I just think the idea of a small business and the things that come from it are like popular or like whatever hipster to have, and I feel like that's probably why. Because I mean, we've always had about the same amount of or people here in this town, and so why would they just suddenly disappear? Those types of jobs.
I feel like people just get tired of like, I don't know, doing the same thing for however long. They're like,
well,
hey,
yeah, I think
I'm
a factory
going
job
to
would
start
not
a
be that
podcast.
great.
I'm going to blah,
Well, I mean,
blah,
that's a
blah.
very generational thing. I mean,
True.
you look back like at maybe not our parents, but like our grandparents, they worked one job for like 50
I screwed
years.
caps on toothpaste for 60 years.
Yeah,
So.
and that's it. But I mean, like, they did that. They went to work every day, 9 to 5, off on Saturday and Sunday. They retired at 65, and they, were done.
Yeah.
And now, like, when I was in like my first year of business school, they told me that the average college, or the average millennial, I guess, if you want to categorize them as such, will change careers, not jobs, careers. I think a minimum of 10 times in their working lifetime. And that's not like jobs. That's not saying, oh, I've worked at McDonald's, Burger King. That's like, no, you worked in the food industry, and then you worked at a hotel, and then you worked in a factory. Like, you
retail,
just,
Yeah.
completely change what you're doing. And they're saying, like, it's not an inability for the people to do the job. It's that people get so bored now, and everybody's like, "Oh no, I need to be entertained." Like,
well, it's because there's so many more
a job
options.
is not just a job anymore. A job has to serve like a much bigger personal purpose. Whereas back in the day, people like a job was a job. It's like I went there, I did whatever they wanted me to do, I got money, I went home and did what I wanted to do. It wasn't. Not only do I have to do what I want to do at home, but I also want to be able to do what I want to do at my job. And if my job doesn't allow me to do that, then I'll just go find something else that does.
Yeah, I feel like
people just didn't care. They were like,
I feel like
"You're
jobs
gonna pay me?"
back then were just to serve a purpose and meet your needs, and now there's so many things you could do, and it's supposed to be fun now too.
Also, they were a lot poorer back then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's true. And I
The
mean,
society as in general was
well,
as
my
a
job-
whole.
my
Our
job's
standard
not
of
fun.
living is extremely high now.
That and
We all have cell phones. come
every
on.
single person that goes through college is paying off how much debt until they're 40 years old.
an average of 20. Well, when I graduated, the average college debt was like $23,000.
And that average goes up every year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We are just,
Oh yeah, and that'll suck too with like what I want to do if I go to med school or something.
Oh, yeah,
that's gonna suck.
Yeah, you
so
have to
bad.
get your doctorate, and then you have to practice for 10 years, and then you'll be
And
good, and it'll be worth it.
thing.
But
That's another thing. Like you have to get a. It's like everybody says you have to get a doctorate or a master's now. Like
like
why?
ramen noodles.
Why is that a thing?
yeah,
No, so you go into more debt, so you don't have to buy ramen. noodles.
That's right.
Credit cards, I forgot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's such a weird cycle.
Which I mean, you're all good and well if you can make it to where you want to be. I mean, just because you go to school doesn't mean you're going to be successful in what you do.
yeah.
And so
well,
you're still going to have all that debt no matter what.
But that's when you got to break the cycle.
Yeah.
How do you
positive
break
side. Here
the
we go.
cycle? How do you break the vicious cycle of like the only way I can ever get ahead in life is by going into debt?
Let your money work for you.
Let your money work for you.
Preach.
And what does that look like, Caleb?
Investments.
Investments. We're talking stocks. So
Oh, boy.
Caleb and I have gotten. We have. I mean, I don't know the proper
Combined,
way.
we have half of a year of experience now.
Yeah, combined we have approximately 3.5 weeks experience on the stock market. And I don't want to say we're a tremendous success, but we are not
I mean,
a tremendous failure.
I've made 12 cents so far. I'm pretty proud of that. No. But, I mean, that's a really small number, but that's off of a week for just having my money in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much better than just like a savings account.
Yeah, and he's
Like-
done no work.
Yeah.
Like that is doing literally nothing productive. Like he could have sat on his butt like
Here's
in
what
a
I do.
chamber doing
Oh.
nothing, and that money would have grown 12 cents.
Yeah.
So how did Zach convince you to do that? Was it,
Well, he
I
just-
can make money, just work for
He
me?
was just showing me like his stocks and everything, and I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And he's like, it's actually really easy. And I was like, oh, good. Because I'm like, I hate computers. I hate all electronics. That's probably why I'm going to like be phased out by this generation completely.
Oh.
But
Same.
like I looked at the app for like 20 seconds and I was like, oh my gosh.
Is
I'm
it
making
really
money.
easy though? Because I don't understand stocks.
Okay,
It's
so
not
it's-
like
I
it's
knew
the most
nothing a week ago.
confusing
I knew
thing.
nothing
Like,
a week ago.
are they legitimate objects or is it like an idea?
So here's the thing.
A concept.
Here's the beautiful way to explain this.
Joe's the accounting major. Joe, would you like to
All
explain
right.
this?
In
Oh
my
yeah, why
hands-
didn't I ask you? I
in my
keep
hands
forgetting.
is a dollar bill. Is this
Okay.
worth money to you?
Yeah.
Why? Because somebody told
Because
you it was
somebody
worth
else
something,
may
right?
not have that dollar bill.
Somebody told you this was worth something a long time ago, and the government does not back it anymore. So this is like just as imaginary as any other form of currency, like buying stocks or cryptocurrencies or anything else.
Stocks aren't real.
Don't even get
Stocks are
started on that.
100% real. Okay, so here's the thing with stocks. Like, I'm going to give you the most rudimentary, like, I hope an economist does not ever listen to this because they'll punch me in the throat the way I'm going to explain this to you.
I had a little bit of cringe go through me, just a little
Yeah.
bit, just at the thought of trying to explain this. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, exactly. So let's say, okay, all right, great example here. So my parents own a scuba shop, and it's incorporated. But let's say that for some reason it just starts doing
Astronomically well.
$100 million a year. Just it's doing $100 million a year, and they're like, hey, this is great. I think I want to make more money because I want to expand and I want to have an evolution in my business. Well, one of the ways that a business can do that outside of just like sitting and waiting for the yearly income is they can go public. And what that does is what an IPO. So it's the initial public offering. And what they do is they split the company into shares, essentially, or a part of the company into shares. So
And when he says a part of the company, don't get confused. That literally means a percentage of the company is owned by someone else, not
Right.
just them.
right, exactly. So, for example, like this scuba diving business gets split into 10 shares. Like my dad is the owner, so he still owns, 90% of the business. But he's like, I'm gonna sell 10% of the business off in the size of 1% shares of the business. So he sells all 10 of those shares off at $100 a piece, just because $1,000 is all he needs to be able to do whatever it is he wants to do. I don't know, whatever. So he does that, and you buy one share, I buy one share, Joe buys a share, Caleb buys a share, and 6 of our best friends buy a share. We are all 1% share owners of that business, which means we have a stake in that business. It doesn't mean we get to make any decisions. It doesn't mean we get to do anything as a part of that
Until you
business
become a 10% shareholder.
until you become a 10% shareholder. But I'm
I wonder
not.
how much
I'm-
money that
We're
is.
not going into it. This is simple.
Sorry,
simple economics.
This is simple. So, yes, you have given someone $100 for a share of that business. They didn't cut off an edge of the building and give it to you and here's 1% of the business or anything like that. They you just own part of that business. You own $100 worth of this business, which is 1% of this business. Now, if that business blows up and it does a great job and it's making $100 million a year, if it all of a sudden is making $250 million a year, the value of that one share you have goes up. And it's not arbitrary, but it's
you bought a share in something,
right? Let's say this: yes, I bought 5 shares in Callaway Golf. I'm very proud of that. For a grand total of $75. Like, well, fingers crossed. But the people that invested in like Apple, whenever it was a couple guys working out of their garage, well, nobody invested at that point. But whenever it was a really small company, those people were like, "I'll give you X amount of money for this percent of the company," and they're like, "Great." And then now we have this ultimate superpower known as Apple, and that guy is smoking cigars somewhere in the Hawaiian Islands because he does not have to worry about money anymore.
Because
in Forrest Gump when he's like, Lieutenant Dan said we ain't got to worry about money no more. He invested in some fruit company. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very unfair.
Yeah.
Some people they can drop $10,000 and never work a day in their life just because they got lucky.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
Gosh dang it. That is literally how you were going to die.
That's so awful.
Hey, should you check your chute before you jump out of the plane? No, rather be lucky than good.
No, man. Sheer dumb luck.
Yep.
It's
really cool, and also there have been, just before we go back on what you guys were talking about, just as an idea, Apple is a good example, but also Microsoft is probably the best example of a company that started off that was very, 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 very undervalued, and a person that invested $10,000 into that was making buku money whenever Microsoft hit its boom in the 90s. Right. That was when the economy was like skyrocketing and the housing market was killing it, and like those people probably are billionaires now. Multi-millionaires, at least, for sure.
Why don't you tell them about the hot market today?
Oh, the hot market today.
What's going on today, guys?
What's going on today is everything dropped 3% today.
No.
Made me...
the stock market went down today.
But no, so speaking of making your millions off of someone who's just like, here's tens of thousands of dollars. So we all know what Bitcoin is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when Bitcoin initially was a thing in 2010, 2010, it was like valued at like 5 cents, 4 cents a coin. And I've been researching the crap out of cryptocurrencies. Like, that is just like cryptocurrencies and stocks are just like my new obsession, and I'm trying to learn everything I can.
There's a Dogecoin.
I have a book sitting underneath my TV right now called Cryptocurrency 101, and I love it so much.
Cool.
But so like if you had bought, I forget what the number was. It was like $10,000 worth of Bitcoin when it was selling or valued at 4 cents a coin. Today you would have $84.5 million.
Yeah,
like done. Just like you're done. Like you
can
do whatever you want.
Not quite. You have to give it to someone who then has to sell it again. At the end, they'd probably make about $70 million.
See, that's the thing.
It is like going into a casino and you're like, I would like to cash in my chips, please. And as long as the market's still in a good shape, they're like,
as long as it doesn't change in value, you walk out with $84.5 million. You don't have to give it to anyone, because here's the thing. So when you it's tax season, so like I've been researching about taxes because I want to get as much money back as I can.
Not a person
I'm gonna make so much more money when my baby's born this year.
Nerd.
Anyway, so the IRS does not recognize cryptocurrencies as an investment or stock.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
So
are you serious?
I'm 100. I would not lie about something I'm so passionate about.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
They do not recognize it as an investment. They recognize it if you record it, which you should. Mm-hmm. It's recorded as property. It's not recorded as an investment because they just don't recognize it as an investment.
Is there not a property tax on it then?
That's the thing, is you can get around that.
You can?
Apparently.
From that book?
Well, what's funny as well is if you cash in all that and you get $84 million, you realize what will happen to the Bitcoin market when $84 million just comes right out of it.
Nobody bought.
But see, that's the thing, is it won't.
Nobody bought 10 million shares of it when it was at 5 cents.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying if that were to happen, then.
Except for 50 Cent, apparently, who was like,
50 Cent. Listen to this.
Wait,
he was like, I'm going to invest $10,000 in Bitcoin.
No way.
Forgot about it. A couple days ago, they were like, so you made $50,000 off of Bitcoin. He goes, oh, I forgot I did that stuff. Didn't say stuff, but he was like, I forgot I did that.
He like filed for bankruptcy a little while ago.
Oh
Man,
my God,
he's doing great.
idiot.
So
That's great.
So Bitcoin was 5 cents or 4 cents, whatever it was when it was first released. It is now at $11,086 a share.
Gosh.
So if you would have bought 10, like you could take off a year.
You'd have $100,000 to your name, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did, like, when I first, because I started investing in cryptocurrencies, like, in August, and I did it, and I was like, oh, I'm so cool, like, I'm buying Bitcoins and Ethereum and Litecoin and Dogecoin and all the different types of cryptocurrencies, and then, like, I was like, oh, it's not really doing anything fun, so I just forgot about it and, like, focused more on, like, actual stock market, like NASDAQ and things like that. And then earlier this month, we were in Florida and someone was talking about Bitcoin. I was like, oh yeah, I remember buying Bitcoin like 4 or 5 months ago. Looked at it, literally went up 400% in like 4 or 5 months. I was like,
you didn't sell then, did you?
I mean, I didn't sell. I took like 90% of it out.
Okay.
But it's already gone up like 75% already,
Yeah.
like from the little $50 that I left in there.
Yep.
So it's real. And if you want to get rid of the whole, like, I'm going to be in debt, I'm going to have to be in debt to be able to grow, stock markets.
Yeah.
It's like, to your defense, Laurel, it is super complicated.
Well,
but
no, I
once,
get it now, but like it's such a gamble.
See, that's the thing, is it's not, it's not, yeah, there's a ton
Okay,
more
well,
that
what
goes
you said
into
made sense. if
It
that
is
helps.
way safer than a roulette table.
That's true.
You
It
might be right, but you also might be wrong. You don't know.
If you
But I don't know about it.
But it's not like a full, like,
Think about
it's
it.
not flipping a quarter and going like, how many times is it
is-
going to land on heads? It's very much so an educated
it is fantasy
guess.
football. You are putting yourself in
I
the
mean,
best
you are
situation
not
to
wrong.
win, and that is it.
Yeah.
You can't help when Mitchell Trubisky outthrows Brady by 6 touchdowns. Like hats off to him.
No, I understand.
Yeah, it's just you are making your best educated guess.
I'm a
And
very-
people have made so much off of it.
I'm a very pessimistic person ever since hearing about all the recessions that happened and all the people that did that exact same thing and then lost billions because of it. They
Yeah.
thought they were in the best economic position they could ever be in, and then out of nowhere, $3 trillion disappears in a
Gone.
week.
Mhm.
It's gone. Like,
Yep.
just... So... Yes, it's great. And I am going to invest in the stock market soon whenever I actually have income to be like, okay, I'm going to put this amount in, that way I don't hurt myself, and that's a big thing. Put
Right.
enough in there to where you're like, I'll be okay if this completely
Don't
disappears.
take anything on the boat you're not willing to lose.
That's right. They're the 2 rules. 1, do not invest more than you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that same coin is invest an amount of money that matters.
Yeah.
You know, don't go in $10 and be like, oh, I'm going to do $10 of penny stocks and hope I do it.
That's what you did.
It's what I do.
Yeah, that's what
And
you
I
do.
love my penny stocks, but I'm also making a little bit of money off my penny stocks. But I'm also working on some bigger things. But you got to be willing to, like, if you're not willing to take the chance, you're not going to get the reward.
I've been eating candy for like the past 10
I thought the
minutes.
dog
and
got
the wrappers are super low.
Yeah, me too. I was like, where's that?
Because
But
I heard
speaking
them
of
behind the
candy,
couch.
going back to our Halloween podcast, Smarties are the best dang thing ever.
Heck yeah.
They're good.
Eh.
Oh, my
Oh, I'm sorry.
gosh.
What is this, an empty Smarties wrapper?
Yeah, but I only grabbed one. Y'all have like 6.
11. Yeah. You're not wrong.
And Caleb's on a sugar high right now,
Yeah.
which is great.
It's fantastic.
No,
Yeah.
in like 6th grade, we went on band trips and kids would like snort them in the back of the bus.
That's
Dude,
stupid.
true story though. Me and my boy Michael back in the day, we would.
What a nice little Easter egg for whoever sat through all this boring economics talk. Here we go.
So me and my boy Michael would go to like the Dollar Tree General, like whatever it is, and we would get pixie sticks and
Oh,
just
I
get
knew
it.
bags
Oh,
and
yeah,
bags
those
of
are
pixie
good.
sticks.
I do like pixie
We would take them all, open them, pour them in this big bowl, and then just slam our faces into it, and just go, and just try to like
Oh, gosh.
absorb as
You have
much.
separate bowls?
Well, yeah.
Dude, take
You imagine some like
Dude,
lady
take
in
a bit of-
the, no, like take some like Lady in the Tramp moment where there's after
Oh
Oh.
man.
How old
Oh.
were you?
Yeah.
that'd be so
Oh, how
funny.
old
That
was
was
I?
last
Yeah.
year.
Way too old.
Way too old. Yeah, that's a.
Wait, it's not
good
gonna
response
stop?
to that. Huh?
Is it still good? Yeah, it's still good. Anyway, Yeah, no, I was way too old for that. Dude, Michael and I did some stupid stuff back in the day. I love Michael to death. We should talk more. We don't, but
Michael, if you're out there somehow finding this podcast,
yeah,
Zach says hello. And
yeah. Tell Tori I said hi.
He wants you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She.
Gosh, Pixie Sticks are so good too.
They were good. Yeah.
I like them better than Smarties. I kind of like Sweet Tarts, like the little chewy.
Oh, dude,
ones.
Sweet Tarts are
Those
so good. I love Sweet Tarts.
Alright.
Yeah, I guess that's it on the economic side. There's so much more that you can go into when it comes to stocks and bonds.
I do
and
have
stuff.
like a story that was shocking today. So it's probably not that relevant, but
Oh,
we
it's
were
so
in
relevant.
so in Gov, we do this thing where they talk about like the political spectrum, and then they give you a quiz. And so I thought I was gonna be like pretty liberal, and it was like right smack dab, like in half. I think I had one more L than I did C.
Independent.
I know. I was like, I'm so indecisive
Fun fact:
on
all
everything.
forms of government are evil. That is my standpoint.
Sir, I will have you know when the Queen dies, this country will go into mourning.
That's true.
What?
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 I like her.
How do you not think that will actually happen? Literally, when there's a royal wedding, Americans are like, "Oh my
Right.
gosh, look at all the big
But
hats they wear!" They're
That's
so
not,
excited.
That's not politics. That's the royal family. If you would have said the PM,
That's a monarchy.
the PM, like the prime minister.
Oh, nobody knows who the prime minister.
Yeah, see,
No one has
who is the
been
prime minister?
relevant since Margaret Thatcher.
That's true.
Who was
I
the guy
only
before
know-
the current guy? Tony Blair. Was that his name?
I have no
You
idea.
are,
I
you are
only
the
know
expert in the
Winston
room right now.
Churchill and Margaret
Uh,
Thatcher.
you know
and then
what?
There was that one guy in between.
The Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher.
My grandmother
Well,
had a
rest in
cat.
peace.
So that's the movie The
Thatcher.
Darkest Hour. I'm really excited to see that. It's
Dude,
about
it was good.
Winston Churchill.
Winston. Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, looks real good.
Anyway,
Hey,
thanks for
what
listening.
movies are you all excited about?
Oh, never mind.
He wants
Coco.
to watch Coco. Yeah.
Coco. I
Why?
still haven't seen it yet. It just looks amazing.
Dude, you do realize you have like one day to see Star Wars.
Yeah, I do. Crap.
Jeez, the spoiler alert.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna
You know,
turn
we
off
should,
my
we should
phone
do a
all
Star
day
Wars
tomorrow.
podcast.
No, next week Super Bowl. Get hype.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
early
I'm
predictions. What's
pissed
gonna happen?
because both the teams I wanted to win lost, and I really don't want to watch.
Guys,
the
early
Patriots
predictions, who's
I
gonna
play
win?
really
again.
don't want Brady. to
All right,
win
lightning
6th
round.
ring.
Joe, go.
Huh? Who's gonna win?
Lightning round, go.
Lightning round?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Who's gonna win?
Who's gonna win? It's
Stop
gonna be
thinking about it.
It's gonna be the Eagles by 7 points.
Eagles by 7 points. Caleb.
Absolutely not. I think the Patriots do a fourth quarter comeback because Tom Brady and they make too much money.
I feel like
No,
it'll be
it's-
Patriots.
It's gonna be 24-20 Eagles on top.
I have a
Nick
gut
Foles for
feeling.
the win. Laurel.
Patriots.
Patriots.
I don't want them to,
Oh,
but I
same.
feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Just so
I have
much
no
pessimism.
I think the Eagles are a way better team.
Yeah.
The Patriots are not a better team.
That's
They
fair.
have the superior offense. That's all they have.
They have the
Tom versus
superior
time.
quarterback.
I'll say this. I know it's lightning round. If Mark Barnett, if Barnett can get any sort of pressure on Brady, or if the Eagles can get any pressure on Brady, they've got it in the bag. Because he is belligerently awful when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
But what happens is he has all day to throw, and it's like, oh, no, I'm the best at this. I don't think you guys understand. Fourth quarter.
It's a good strategy. Patriots' strategy is lose in the beginning so that they win.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
how
just
many,
all it is.
How many Super Bowls have they been to in like the past 5 years now?
Been to?
They've been to
8?
7 in the last
Oh,
5.
Okay. What?
That's
You
no.
said in the last 5 years.
I think
in
Brady's-
the Tom Brady
I think Brady
Belichick
Belichick's
era,
been to 8.
they've been to 7. They've won 5.
So is this going to be 8?
This is going to be 8.
This would also, if they win, or if they lose, this would be the first time they ever lost to a team
I
that's not
think-
called New York Giants.
I think my favorite
In
one
the bowl.
was the Broncos and the Colts.
The Broncos and the
That was like my favorite
What?
Super Bowl.
oh, you mean
Oh,
Eagles
Eagles,
Rams?
What?
Oh, sad day.
I don't get it.
Joe's done. So what you may have seen is a championship game.
Oh, it was it?
It was not the Super Bowl.
Someone told me they played this.
So fun fact, both of those teams are AFC.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my gosh. God.
Oh, dude, Caleb is the only one not crying right now.
Yeah,
Because he knows
because I made the same mistake not too long ago.
We
I
had
did the NFC, Eagles Rams.
We had a great moment where he said Eagles Rams and we were
who's gonna be
Zach,
the Super Bowl?
Zach just had
in
this
my
moment.
in my defense, I've only enjoyed watching football for like the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sure you're talking about the Broncos and the Panthers.
Except that one time. It's funny to watch it with you because like the really big guys were like, "Oh, that's a 50 boy."
Well, I mean, when you see a
We are so
6'9",
good to watch
385-pound man lumbering down the field, you're just like,
Rob
that boy gets
Gronkowski.
around.
some Derrick Henry GMRs.
It's like
man runs.
I'm sitting over here at like 6 foot 195, and I'm like, gosh, it hurts to get out of bed sometimes. And there's, 385-pound
Yep.
whoever, just
Whoever. It could be anything.
it could literally be anybody.
It's an alien, essentially.
Tate Taua, whoever the backup Alabama quarterback.
Oh,
is.
oh,
I'm just throwing
gosh.
out names at this point. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I had his name as he said that.
Okay.
Marcus Mariota, like,
Yeah, Marcus Mariota.
Okay,
Went
so-
to the same high school as him.
it's true. So,
Tua Tagovailoa.
what did you just say to me,
What?
sir? I do not play the violin.
Anyway, what were you going to say?
Okay, so next week I think we're gonna do a Super Bowl-esque podcast because we're gonna record before the Super Bowl, so we'll
Yep.
we'll have another football podcast. So everybody
Get hyped. Get hyped.
get hyped about a football podcast, and then we have a super special podcast planned after that. I don't want to. You know what? I'm not gonna say anything
No,
else about
let's let
You
the
guys can
theory
speculate.
craft on
Yeah.
on what it's going to be.
it. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. But after that, I think we should do a Star Wars podcast.
Amen.
We need to talk about it.
I'll have seen the movie by then.
Okay, you have what, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, but
Star
I'm just going
Wars.
to silence that group chat.
It's gonna be out on DVD by now or by then.
I don't know. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, you
It's
need
good.
to because you're gonna have to be on the podcast or
Or
be on
else.
the podcast and be uneducated,
Okay.
which will be sad.
We'll just tell you about it. We'll just make up random facts.
I would
Like-
be uneducated.
Snape killed Hagrid.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hagrid.
gosh!
Oh.
And anyway,
Too soon.
so yeah, all right.
That's what's on the ring for
Thanks
like
for listening.
20
Yeah, thanks
minutes.
for listening, everybody. This has been Joe, Caleb, and
Zach
That kid over there in the corner.
with just a little bit of Laurel mixed in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Just
I'll get used to it.
This has
Maybe.
been
I don't
maybe.
know.
what?
What?
I'm
What?
good.
Episode 8.
Keep
Anyway.
going.
I mean,
I think we're gonna stop, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Economic football. Bye.